All right, I'm gonna rant here a little bit, okay? Let's talk about public schools. Now I get it that not all of you guys have the means to put your kids in a private school, or you probably don't have the opportunity to homeschool them. Okay, I understand that completely. But this video is mainly for parents and obviously for kids who are in high school and watching this. Just because you go to public school does not mean that that's where your education needs to stop. Does not mean that that's where your mind needs to stop. Does not mean that you put your mind in a box surrounded by four walls for what, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 52 weeks a year. Does not mean any of that. Okay, I understand that you spend majority of your time in your school if you're a high schooler or middle school, whatever. If you're in middle school, like, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, none of these videos probably make any sense to you. But if you're in high school, at least, maybe if you're a sophomore or junior, maybe you'll start understanding some of the things I'm saying here. So mainly this is towards high schoolers, high school kids who are watching this, if you are. I'll make another video talking about colleges, public colleges, and I mean, I already made a video if college is worth it or not. Go check that out. So I broke it down a little bit on that, but maybe if you guys need more information about college, I'll give you guys some more later down the road. But so, high schoolers, okay? I understand that you spend majority of your day in your high school, right? What, you start at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock and you go up to like 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., right? Something like this. So what is that, 7 hours a day, 8 hours a day? But you have to understand, when you come back home, you have so much time that you could spend in expanding your mind, expanding your horizon, right? I understand that some of you might have practices, sports here and there, this and that, but come on now. We all know that when you come back from school, you don't just do your homework, eat your dinner, and go to bed. We know that these kids, we know that you guys, high schoolers, are up till like what, 11, 12 at night, texting your buddies, Snapchatting the chick you're trying to get laid with. If you're a chick, you're going through your Instagram feed, trying to see what's the latest Tumblr post or what's the latest Instagram post is out there, and you're double tapping everything you're seeing. Or you're going down your like list trying to see who liked your picture and who didn't, this and that, your comment section, whatever. We know that you spend tremendous amount of time every single day just doing useless stuff. So why don't you use that time, that 2-3 hours a night, or maybe let's just say 1 hour, okay? I'll just give you 1 hour. I know that you have way more than 1 hour in your hand to waste, because your life is really not hard in high school. You're really not that busy. You don't really have a whole lot of things going on. Maybe you have a part-time job, and okay, when you come back home, maybe you're exhausted. I get it. And maybe you have class in the morning, but that still doesn't change the fact that when you come back home being exhausted from that job, you still spend at least an hour to an hour and a half on your phone, on Snapchat, on texting, and this and that, on watching YouTube videos, this and that, doing useless stuff. Because you know how I know that? Because that's how addicted and glued we are to our cell phones nowadays. That's just how it is. So you can use those 2 hours or an hour or even 30 minutes if you have every single night listening to podcasts, listening to Jordan Peterson, listening to other Red Pill content creators, researching business ideas, researching investment opportunities. If you're a girl watching this, I'm not even talking to you mainly here. I'm mainly talking to guys here. This is a men's channel. I mainly talk to guys here. The reason why I don't talk to females here, and these videos are not directed toward females, is because I know regardless of how much I tell you guys, you're not gonna change your ways. Why would you? You're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting all the attention you need, and you're getting all the bedtime fun, the bedroom fun that you need and that you want, because you're getting the bedtime fun from the guys you really want to sleep with, and you're getting the attention and validation from the beta males who's orbiting around your circle, orbiting you and giving you free compliments and free validation. So you're getting the best of both worlds. So if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't want to change that either. Like, are you crazy? So and it's guys' fault. It's us men who are at fault to put you at this position, at this pedestal at where you are today. Because if we didn't give women the power that they have today, this wouldn't be happening. Which is why I made this video directed to our guys to take that power back. Anyways, so now you know that you have other resources. Like, we have YouTube, fellas. You have any idea how much information we have in the palm of our hands? And what are you doing with this time? there's a statistics that shows that 2/3 of the internet, 2/3 guy users on the internet are spending their time watching porn. I'm not against watching porn, but I'm saying that if that's how you drain your time down the toilet, just watching porn, come on now. I'm not against it at all, but if you're addicted, if this is halting other aspects of your life, if it's not letting you grow or research more or learn more about other things, other important things in your life, you need to cut it down a little bit at least, buddy. Anyways, so public schools, right? What do we know about public school teachers? 2/3 of them are females. 3/4 of them are females. So that automatically tells you, and we all know 98% of the females in the West today, in today's society, have this feminist ideology. Like, they might not say it out loud, only the ugly ones and the short-haired ones and the fat ones and the colored-haired ones, boring, piercing ones, tattooed ones. Those are the loud ones, I get it, and they're a little bit smaller in number than the vast majority of women, but this vast majority of women also have bought into this feminist ideology. So all these teachers that you see walking around, they all have a feminist ideology. If they didn't, they wouldn't be there. Plain and simple. If they didn't have a feminist ideology, they wouldn't even go to college. Plain and simple. I never can see myself getting committed to anybody who went to college, any girl who went to college. I don't see myself getting committed to anybody anyways, but later down the road, way later down the road, like decades later, maybe if I'm thinking about settling down, I won't do it with somebody who went to college, because I went to college. I've messed around with enough college girls in my life. I know what goes around in that scene. I'm good. I check myself out from that. Anyways, so when these teachers that you spend majority of the time of your day with have a feminist ideology, feminist agenda, what do you think they're feeding you with? Now, I'm not talking about your math class or science class professors, right? Because those classes, you don't really have a whole lot of time to talk about philosophy, right? The word kind of just blanked in my head. You don't really have time to talk about things other than math and science, because those materials take a lot of time for you to understand. That's why most of those STEM classes are not going to be talking about majority of these feminist ideologies or human ideologies or relationship stuff, this and that. But how many girls that you know, or how many people do you know in high school that actually go through your top level STEM classes? Not a whole lot, right? Most of these kids are just trying to barely get by and pass their classes and get a diploma and get out of there, right? So the other classes that they have, coming down from the hierarchy of classes when it comes to STEM, the other classes that they have, English, history, art, sculpture, what else do they have? I can't think about any other classes. Some crap science classes, intermediate algebra, things like that, right? In those classes, the main agenda is not to teach you about human philosophy, and how things supposed to work, how you're supposed to take a girl out on a date, how you're supposed to finish high school, go to college, get a degree, and get married. Those might not be the main focus of the class, main material topics of the class. But believe it or not, they push those agenda in those classes way more than they would have if they were in the STEM classes, that top level STEM classes. How do they do that? Simple. Anytime a teacher is presenting a certain kind of topic, you'll notice she's always wanting to bring up female power and female empowerment. She's always asking the girls in the class for answers. She's always making it seem like women can do it all. She's always punishing, like giving penalty to the boys for acting not right, which is just being boys, not sitting there quietly. She's saying that this is not how you're supposed to behave. Behave yourself, respect each other. These kind of things. You hear it from teachers all the time in high school, all the time. And these are the things that pop up in your head and stay in your head. You know why? Because the materials, the actual materials that you're learning in your class, you don't care about that. You're just trying to memorize it till the test day, spit it out on your test, and then forget about it the next day, and just so you pass the class. That's what you're trying to do. So you don't really take in those information, but the information outside of those, the information that you don't get tested on, those are the information you start taking it in. And you also see that these girls out here on your classes are acting wishy-washy. You're seeing that they are like these popular girls, quote unquote, these pretty girls. They're acting like they're so much better than you that even if you just go talk to them and you're not in their circle, in their little group, you know those groups I'm talking about. If you're not in that circle, they're just gonna like look at you and be like, ew. So these kind of ideology are starting to set in your head. And you're thinking to yourself, this is what it's supposed to be like. This is what reality is. And maybe some days you tell yourself that if I go to college, my life will be better. I'll go to college. After high school, college will be a lot better. And then I'll get a degree. I'll make some real money, and then I'll settle down with I'll find the one. I'll find that unicorn for myself, and life will be all happy and sunshine and rose and dandy at the end of the day. You're wrong. It gets harder from now on if you don't understand what reality really is and how to tackle it, which is why I keep making these videos for you guys. It's sad to see how depressed, lost, lonely, and miserable and out of track and without guidance these high school boys are, teenage boys are, who are our future. These boys are our future. And we're not being able to teach them what's right, what's wrong. And when they come home, their parents don't help them much either, because most likely they live with a single mother, or if there's a father in the picture, the father is kind of silenced. It's what the mom says goes around in the family for the majority of the part. Now, the example I gave you about teachers portraying this feminist ideology and asking the female students only, the girls only, to answer and giving penalty to the kids. This scenario is not the only scenario where this type of ideology can pop up. There's hundreds and thousands of other cases and other ways these teachers can implement that type of ideology in your head. This is just one of the examples that I saw when I was in high school myself. So if you guys have any other experience, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear it. Again, as always, I'm here if you don't have anybody else to talk to. I'll love to hear all your stories. Because if nobody understands what you're going through, I will. I promise you I will. There's very few things in this world that I haven't gone through. So let's just say that. Let's just leave it at that. So fellas, don't let this society, don't let this system fool you like that, okay? I know it's hard to keep your head straight, especially when your hormones are crazy at that age. I know that none of this makes sense, what you're seeing in your class, and you don't have any true guidance. You don't even know how to do your taxes. You don't even know how to change your tire, how to put oil in your car. You don't have any real life experience, and none of it teaches you in high school. You don't get taught any of this in high school. And I know it's hard to go through any of this, especially when your friends also live in this blue pill world, and they think that chasing tail is the way to go. Spending money on this girl is how you're supposed to do it if you're trying to get laid. And your parents don't help you a whole lot either, because as I just mentioned, your dad's most likely silenced, or he also probably lives in a blue pill world, so he probably doesn't know any better himself. Or you don't even have a dad in the picture. But this is when you have to reach out for answers from individuals like myself and other Red Pill content creators. Jordan Peterson, I highly recommend you watch his videos. Jocko Williams, I think is one of them. Joe Rogan, he's also, I would put him in a Red Pill category, yes, definitely. Read some books, fellas. Read some books on human psychology, human philosophy. You don't have to read the books itself. You can just buy the audio version, $3, $4, and with it, when you're going through your Instagram feed or Snapchat feed and trying to see what girl you can hit up, instead of doing that, play that video and just listen to it. Listen to the words. Plug your headphones in, listen to it. An hour, 30 minutes a day, a night, and then go to sleep. And repeat that. You have to keep brushing on your red pill knowledge every single day, because you're fighting against this blue pill world where 99% of the population, males and females, live in this blue pill world, and you're by yourself. Chances are the town, the city, the neighborhood that you live in, there's nobody who's red pilled aware in your neighborhood. So it's just you against everybody in your surrounding, which is why you need to constantly brush up on your red pill knowledge. Otherwise you're not going to be able to win this battle. This is a constant battle. This is a war. We're at war pretty much. You have to look at it that. If you have to look at it like that. Otherwise you're going to lose. Otherwise the 6 months or a year worth of red pill knowledge that you consumed is going to go down the toilet, down the drain. I promise you, if you can come out of the red pill, out of all the red pill stages without harming yourself or anybody around you, your life is going to skyrocket. It's going to take off. If you finally accept reality, female's nature, your mind will start opening up about the things that you can do in your life to make your life better. It'll skyrocket, I promise you. Your sex life, your dating life, your finances, your personal life, everything. You're gonna feel so much more content in your own life. You have no idea. These public schools, that's why Coach Greg Adams, he calls it public school indoctrination camp, because you're being indoctrinated pretty much in there. It's kind of like a concentration camp. You don't really have anything you don't really have freedom of speech there. You can offend anybody just like that. You don't really have freedom of speech anywhere else anyways, but that's public school it's even worse. Is homeschool an option? I'll talk about it in another video. Pros and cons to that. Now, there are some pros with public schools. Obviously, it's cheaper. Obviously, you can get some free lunch, but why would you even want to eat those school lunch, man? It's garbage. You have access to a lot more girls, which is why I highly recommend that guys at an early age, like 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, that's when boys should start understanding this red pill knowledge, because when you get into the high school scene, you have access to so many girls and other high schools in your area as well. It's a lot harder in college than you think, I promise you that, unless you're in a sorority, or you're the sorority president, or you're in any sports teams. And we already know what are the chances of you playing sports in high school versus you playing sports in college. So don't give me that. Don't even come at me with that. So you have access to a lot more girls. So if you can understand this red pill, and if you understand female's nature and you're red pill aware at that early age, you'll be a slayer, man. I promise you. Hope this video made sense. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, I know it's hard. Just hang on there, okay? Just hang on there and keep consuming this knowledge. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, stay classy.